Hiding in the woods in Izmir, these refugees fled Syria and are hoping to cross the Aegean Sea to Greece.
My kids are so young, they're 2 and 3, and to feed them, I would have to join a militant group. Am I going to fight my own people?
In September, the Turkish Coast Guard intercepted the highest number of people trying to travel across the sea this year.
Right here is the Turkish coast, and over there is the Greek side. A lot of people hide here in the trees and try to make the 5-kilometer journey across. But today the sea is a bit rough, and that's quite worrying because if a migrant boat capsizes, the people in it may die within minutes.
Since 2015, the Coast Guard has rescued tens of thousands of people. After the EU and Turkey signed a deal in 2016 to stem the flow of refugees into Europe, the number of arrivals dropped by 85%. Migrant deaths are also down sharply. With dozens of children and pregnant women in the group, Yasir says they will try to cross just before nightfall.
We're here because it's the closest point to Chios. I am going to Greece, and I'll see which other European country is willing to receive me and my family.
Getting to Greece doesn't ensure resettlement. EU countries made a pledge to relocate asylum seekers from Greece and Italy. But less than 30,000 have been moved so far, and new arrivals, whether from Turkey or other routes, are only adding to the 60,000 people already stranded there. At the same time, Turkey has been hosting over 3 million refugees. They receive free healthcare and education. But often the services provided to them are lost in translation.
Sometimes they don't know their rights, sometimes they don't know which services are available. Their status in Turkey is temporary. Even if they spend 10 or 15 years in Turkey, if the status is lifted at any point, they would have to go back to their countries. And this scares them a bit.
So the refugees opt for Europe, hoping to reunite with their families, many of whom already crossed in 2015. And for those who want to reach Europe, the ending is not always a happy one. Up in the hills of Izmir is a cemetery of the unknown, where hundreds of refugees who have died at sea are buried. Most of them are women and children, and those who have been found together are buried together, with no name, just a number. Aisha Jamal, Straight Talk, Izmir.
So my name is Anna, I'm a journalist, I'm Ukrainian. This is my first time in Turkey. I really don't know much about Turkey or different communities living here. So I'm learning as much as possible actually when talking to you. So this is really interesting for me. I've spent some time here, I've talked to some people, working with refugees, youth activists, and I think it's really cool. And I am really interested in your story because as a European, I know that I'm biased and we don't know much and we need to learn more so we can, communicate better and understand each other better. So I told you a bit about myself. Feel free to ask me questions. You can interview me too. But tell me first a little bit about who you are, what you do.
I am from Syria, from Aleppo. I'm 21 years old and I've been in Turkey for the past 5 years. I recently moved to Izmir, to this city, I think 6 months ago, and I'm studying journalism, so I'm pretty sure I will do these kind of stuff later, I guess.
But you told me you just moved here like a semester ago. Where have you been before?
When I first fled the war in Syria, I lived in Edirne. It's like a northern city on the borders of Bulgaria, and other than that, I moved to Sinop. It's another city as well in Turkey, and I stayed there for a couple of months. And then I scored a scholarship in Izmir, and here I am.
Do you like being here in Izmir?
In Izmir, yes. Actually, I like Izmir more than other cities that I've been to because I think Izmir is more open-minded about a lot of stuff. You don't get this comfortable in other cities, especially for us LGBT people. I think it's way more popular in this city, and people don't feel. I mean, there is some discrimination to some degree, but it's not as harsh as other cities. Yeah.
So you've been, I don't know, not enjoying yourself, but maybe feeling a little bit, more comfortable around the city, right?
Yes, way more comfortable. Really, like you would get judged a lot in other cities, and possibly get death threats if people learn about your sexual orientation. So it's not good. Like people are just scared of like revealing who they really are and being out here. So it's much more easier to be like this in Izmir. So I'm grateful for that.
Well, I'm Syrian. I grew up in Aleppo, city north of Syria. I was a student when the war started. I had to escape because I called for military service, but in order to avoid that, I escaped. I stayed for a very short time in the countryside where it was out of Syrian regime control, and because of also situation was going horrible there, so I moved to Turkey 6 years ago.
Did you move directly to Izmir or some other place?
No, well, I entered Turkey without really knowing anywhere to go, so I could only offer a bus ticket to Konya, which was supposed to be on my way to Istanbul, so I just went to a city called Konya.
Did you stay there for a long time?
For 3.5 years.
Was it because you liked it, or was it mandatory for you to stay there?
No, because first I didn't have money to continue my trip to Istanbul. So I just arrived to Konya and I stayed there.
How was the experience there?
In Konya? Well, some is really good, some is really bad. It's like any experience anywhere you go. Housing was very difficult. Work was also very difficult. And then I moved to Izmir. Izmir is where much better for me, as a society, as a people, as work, as housing, as everything.
So that's been quite a long time. How do you find living in Turkey? How do you like it?
Türkiye'de yaşamayı seviyor musun? Türkiye'de yaşamak senin için nasıl? Beğeniyor musun?
Benim için çok fark etmez çünkü 5 sene oldu buradaydım, 10 yaşındaydım, buraya geldim. Şimdiye kadar alıştım.
You say it's okay because you're used to it and you spend a lot of time here, but what were the challenges that you experienced or maybe still experience here?
Şimdi diyorsun ya, herhangi bir problemim yok ya da uzun süredir 5 senedir burada yaşıyorum ama bu süreçte seni zorlayan neler oldu mesela?
Şimdiye kadar hiçbir şey yok. Çünkü okula gidiyorum, geliyorum. Günüm en güzel geçiyor falan. Bir şey yok, sıkıntı.
So she generally feel happy. She's going to school and coming to her home again and again. So for her point of view, there is no problem at all.
What is your day like? What do you do every day? I mean, I think this day is a bit special because you're with us, but when you don't go here, what would normal day look for you?
Yani normalde hayatının her gün nasıl geçiyor? Günlük yaşantını bize anlatabilir misin? Şimdi bugün buraya geldin ama normalde neler yapıyorsun bir gün içinde?
Ben anaokulda çalışıyorum, öğretmenlik yapıyorum. Hem de Türkçe öğrenmek için bir kursa gidiyorum.
So she's a teacher in kindergarten and she is going to Turkish classes to learn Turkish.
Have you made friends here already?
Yeah, I did actually, and we hang out a lot and we go out drinking and playing games and teaching each other languages, especially English and Turkish, sometimes Arabic. It's great. And I think it's easy for me to make friends because I can speak Turkish.
So how are you feeling with your Turkish? Do you communicate on a daily basis? Can you converse easily with Turks now?
Dil seviyen nasıl mesela şu an Türklerle gerçekten kolay iletişim kurduğunu düşünüyor musun?
Zorlanıyorum Türkçe öğrenmeyi. Biraz zor oluyor. Mesela 4 sene olduğu için yani olduğu rağmen hala ben konuşamıyorum Türkçeyi.
So it's been 4 years, but she'll still have some troubles with Turkish language, but a little bit, not that much. But it's a kind of hard for her, but not that hard, of course.
So you've been in Izmir for 2.5 years?
Yes.
And what are you doing here?
Well, I'm translating for Syrians. I translate also at companies a lot for people who come to make business here in Turkey. So they contact me and we'll go to companies in order to export, import stuff.
So you meet a lot of different people, right? Because of your job.
Yeah.
Do you get to meet a lot of foreigner, like Westerners too?
Well, sometimes yes. Sometimes.
Do you like your job?
Well, meeting people from different countries with different backgrounds is, I think this is very nice because I was missing that for the whole 3.5 years where I lived in Konya. So yeah.
And how is your experience in Izmir in general?
In Izmir is really good city. People in Izmir are very open-minded. They the way of life here is very nice, I could say.
You mentioned a little bit that you like living in Turkey because you're used to it and you don't see too many problems. But is there something you would like to improve here for yourself, for your family, and your community?
Yani bildiğin gibi az önce bir sorunum yok dedin Türkiye'de ama en azından geliştirmek istediğin bir şeyler var mı? Mesela ailenle alakalı olabilir, çevrenle alakalı olabilir, hayatınla alakalı olabilir. Geliştirmek istediğin bir şey.
Benim için sıkıntı yok ama annem için, teyzem İstanbul'da, herkes bir uzak olduğu için annem hep birlikte bir ülkede olsaydı daha güzel olurdu.
Annenle beraber yaşıyorsun değil mi?
Evet, ailem.
Ama diğer akrabaların da keşke seninle beraber olsaydın.
Akrabamız aynı sokak falan, aynı mahalle. Ama dayım, teyzem falan uzaklarda.
Onlar yakın olsun istiyorsun.
Evet.
She just wants to live with her all family, uncles, aunts, all in the same place because her amcam mıydı yoksa hangisi böyle İstanbul'da bir yerde dediğin yaşıyor?
Teyzem.
Teyzen. Because her aunt, she's living in a different city, so that's why she wants to have her family, her big family here at the same place.
You just started your school as a journalist.
Yes.
What is it your passion? Is it something you want to do in the future?
Honestly, I never thought about it. I never thought about studying journalism at all, but I feel like I can, in the future, possibly have important discussions with people, maybe have my own show, or even talk to other people and be I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be the voice of the people, but at least express what's going on with our society and how we feel and what we need to do. Maybe criticize some of the things that's happening in our society in general. And I think this is a great opportunity for me to do that, hopefully.
Did you come here by yourself?
Yes. I mean, first I came to Turkey by myself, but after that I'm the oldest. I have 8 more siblings younger than me, so I had to get them slowly to Turkey because the situation in Syria was going so much bad and horrible for my young siblings.
So they're all here now?
Not all. I have 6 siblings here, and the rest in Syria. The young ones, very young ones in Syria.
You've been here for 4 years. What did you face any challenges? And if you did, what were the biggest ones?
Şimdi 4 senedir burada yaşıyorsun. Karşılaştığın zorluklar, sıkıntılar oldu mu? Bu 4 senelik yaşamında.
Sıkıntı evler sıkıntı oldu. Mesela Türkler Suriyeli ev vermiyorlar, kira vermiyorlar. Ve bu büyük bir sorun. Mesela ben geçen sene bir ev sahibi beni çıkardı evden ev bunu ödlendirecek. Yani resmen sokakta kaldım. Her kapı çaldım ev kiralık için vermiyor. Beni görünce Suriye olduğu için hiç diyor ki kiralık değil. Yazıyor mesela kiralık ama bize vermiyor. Diyor ki Suriyeli olduğu için vermiyor. Resmen ben çocuklarımla sokakta kaldım. Bir ev değil, dükkan olarak gibi oturuyorum. Bu en büyük sorun.
So the biggest problem is for almost all refugees, I mean Syrians maybe, they are really struggling to find houses. I mean like renting some houses because the people, I mean the local people don't rent their houses to the refugees. And 1 year ago, the homeowner of her house, so the place's owner, let's say, he or she, I don't know the gender, but they get out from the home because the house owner didn't want them anymore. So they were just walking in the streets and trying to find a new home. But they were knocking on the doors, do you have home? I mean, can you rent us? But people are saying, because of you are Syrians, we can't rent you a home or we can't give you accommodation. So right now, she is living in kind of a shop.
And how are you involved with, because you're here, so I assume you're involved with youth organizations somehow, so how are you involved, what are you doing?
Şimdi bildiğin gibi bir gençlik derneğindeyiz, gençlik organizasyondayız. Bu gençlik organizasyonu nasıl dahil olduğunu, nasıl haberin olduğunu açıklayabilir misin biraz bize?
Akrabamız buraya gelmişlerdi ilk önce. Sonra anneme anlattılar falan, iyi bir yermiş falan çocuklar için. Sonra annem de buraya geliyor toplantı falan. Sonra bir gün annemi aradılar, diyor toplantı falan var, biz de geldik.
So firstly, her relatives, let's say, came to the Turkey. I mean, maybe her uncles and like maybe we can say aunts and the others relatives. Then her mother came here. I mean, came to Turkey, and she discovered that there's a youth center, youth organization, who are also working with refugees. So that's why she knows it.
And do you come here often?
Buraya sıklıkla geliyor musun?
Hayır, okula gittiğim için zaman kalmıyor, buraya gelmiyorum çok.
Wait, you're still in middle school, but what do you want to do after you finish your studies? What is your dream?
Şimdi bildiğin gibi şu an ortaokuldasın ama okulunu bitirdikten sonra ne olmak istiyorsun? Yani nasıl bir hayalin var hayata karşı?
Doktor olmak istiyorum.
So she wants to be a doctor.
And what is your dream? I mean, based on what you said, what you want to change, what do you dream about?
Hani dediğin şeylere göre en büyük hayalin ne ya da gerçekleştirmek istediğin şey?
Okumaya devam etmek istiyorum. Ben Suriye'deyken mesela lisenin son sınıfa okuyordum. Sınava gittiğimde savaş biraz çok oldu. Gidemedim sınava. Burada devam etmek istiyorum. Açık okumaya.
So when she was in Syria, she was in high school, but at last year, but because of war happened so fastly, she couldn't continue her school. That's why she wanna study more. She wanna study more.
If you could change one thing about the community here, about living here, communicating with people, anything, what would that be?
Buradaki toplum hakkında bir şey değiştirmek isteseydin bu ne olurdu? Herhangi bir konuda olabilir.
Mesela okulda ya da mesela oturduğum yerde falan mesela Türkler bu da Suriye ayrılıyor bazen mesela sen Suriye'ye bu tür mesela sen buraya giremezsin. Mesela benim oğlum mesela düğüne gidecek. Mesela burada mesela dedi ki sen düğüne giremezsin çünkü sen Suriyeli mesela olduğu için falan. Bu ayrım yapmasınlar.
So the thing is about discrimination mostly because they are not letting them, I mean Syrians, to maybe some entrance of the buildings, because For example, her son once wanted to go to a marriage, and they didn't let him to enter. So that's why, because also they are saying, the community saying that we are Syrians, that's why you cannot enter.
You spent a lot of time in Turkey.
Yes.
What is the biggest challenge that you see for yourself? Because you have a very complicated background, and you mentioned you've had many struggles. So what is the biggest challenge, the thing you would like to change about this community?
I would say the stigma of Syrian people in general. I find it very hard to find a job. I find it very hard sometimes to even communicate with other people just because I'm Syrian. And I think, like, this is gonna sound a bit racist or sad, but like, I think most people can talk to me because I don't look like Syrian people, I don't act like Syrian people, I don't understand what they mean by this. But yeah, they think that I'm European at first, and then when they learn that I'm Syrian, they're like, oh, you're Syrian, and then they start slowly distancing themselves away from me. So I would like to change this stigma, especially for employment, and especially for, like, I don't know, I mean, that's a very big problem in this society. I mean, it happens everywhere, I guess, in the entire world, but Turkey has a lot of Syrian refugees, so I think maybe it's time to kind of integrate with each other and help each other out. We shouldn't look at each other in that way, in my opinion.
How you are involved with this youth organization, right? You come here from time to time?
Time to time.
Yeah. When you're not playing video games, of course.
Yes.
How do you think, being a young, active person, or, meeting locals, meeting other refugees, meeting people from different cultures, how can it actually help, change what you want to change?
I mean, I'm pretty sure by meeting new people, you kind of start to understand how they are and how they feel, and you get to see a certain point of view that you never thought of before, and it kind of changes your perspective, I guess. So I think one of my missions, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but to change how people look at Syrian people. So I try to be that Syrian kid who's nice to everyone, I guess, to give other people, just to show them that we are also human beings, and it doesn't matter where you're from, it should be we should respect each other, I guess, in a way. So by meeting new people and by mixing other cultures, it should be more than enough of an opportunity to break this stigma that we have, and I'm kind of working on it.
Wow, that's really, really cool. It's really impressive. Thank you very much for your talk with me. It was nice. I hope I was not, asking too weird questions.
No,
yeah?
Not at all.
Okay, so you don't hate journalism after talking to me? Yeah, so thank you very much for talking to me. Yeah, and my only suggestion if you can do, is to do more art things, because what you said is really cool. So I would suggest you to motivate yourself to do something artistic, especially if you've got talent. I'm sure you do.
I hope I do. I appreciate it. Really.
Yeah. Thank you very much for talking to me.
At his new home in Ankara, Huzeyfe Alawad is improving his Turkish. He's one of millions of young Syrians who've been forced to leave the country because of the war.
My Turkish has become so good. The language is easy to learn, and I'm confident that I can speak it well now.
Huzeyfe and his family fled their home in Khan Sheikhoun in southern Idlib over 3 years ago. Now his father has enrolled him in what's called a non-formal educational program to make up for his lost years of schooling.
We're trying to support the Turkish government, be it in constructing new schools, helping them also fund some of the teachers, but also to address those issues where children are not able, for whatever reason, maybe socioeconomic reasons, the parents don't have the money, some of the children even have to work.
The program is financed by the European Commission in partnership with the Turkish Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Turkish Red Crescent, and UNICEF. Turkey is home to more than 3.9 million Syrian refugees. At least 1.5 million are children, and over 610,000 are enrolled in school. But according to Turkey's Ministry of National Education, more than 350,000 Syrian children are not getting formal education. And this program aims to prevent what the UN calls a lost generation of children. It's in centers like these where existing infrastructures are being used with the help of international organizations for the benefit of young Syrians in Turkey. Huzaifa's father says, as a parent, his children's integration in their new home is a priority.
Thank God these courses have helped us, and they ease some of the pressure at home. And just knowing we live in safety and security is a blessing. As a father, you can't leave the moment of bombarding and your son sitting crying beside you. He should look for a safe place, even if it was temporary, until the crisis passes over.
The war has forced out almost half of Syria's population. Like many Syrians, Maouia and his family say they want to return someday. When that will be, they don't know. And until then, many here say they're grateful they're getting help for some of their most vulnerable people. Rahul Radhakrishnan, TRT World, Ankara.